Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. What I would like to express today is really what I've been feeling this past week about inner guidance. And I think that all of us have been seeking inner guidance. And we may do it in a variety of ways. None are any better or worse than the others. The fact that we are actually seeking inner guidance is really what's most important right now as we move through a lot of the current issues in regards to this coronavirus and the world and everything that we're experiencing. Sometimes, for most of us, it's very challenging. It can be very testing to our energetic system. So, good morning to each of you. Lisa, good morning. Sheila, good morning. And blessed day to you as well, and blessed rising. So, this being the last day or last Friday of May, I just thought it might be good to just do a little meditation, a little tapping into ourselves. And so this morning, that was my message. What the topic was, and it was really about deep guidance. Mostly, when we look at the world around us, we see that it has shifted into something that is really, for me, quite bizarre. And many times it's almost unrecognizable. And I think that each of you are seeing or feeling similar energies and questioning, is there an end to this? Is there a solution? Everybody I go to for information seems to be struggling with offering proper information or information that makes me feel safe or comfortable throughout this process. And so our everyday routines and habits have somehow now become an object of criticism by others. And it's undermining the energetic stability of every living being on our planet. It's not bypassing anybody or anything that this critical criticism and nitpicking and bullying and all of this emotional instability by our leaders and those who are supposedly to have the wisdom to direct us is really unnerving. At least it is for me. So I've kind of backed away and tuned out. I no longer watch what's going on. I get information here and there. I'm no longer tuned into all of the media. I'm no longer listening to the theorists who are, trying to figure out how did this begin, what happened, where did it all go wrong, etc., etc. Because that keeps us in our minds. That keeps us up here in this mind, where fear is really effective. And when we get into fear in our minds, it travels right through our whole energetic system. So I know all of you are feeling this around the world. And there's, a challenge of, will this end? When will it end? What is it going to look like? Is it going to come back? What's going on? There's no clear path. Things change from day to day, and so it's a great storm. And that's how I look at it. It's a great storm that doesn't care what's in its path. It has no consciousness. It has no awareness. It will destroy everything that it's in its path, and it will have no feelings, no empathy, no sympathy, no remorse for its actions at all. How do we move through this? How do we find stability in this? So, interestingly, the sacred space medication card, maybe it is a medication card, I pulled as divine guidance. And I think you can see this picture of a couple of galaxies that are tied together by this group of stars. And the message is, I am secure in the knowledge of my place in the universe. I allow divine guidance to school me. I thought about that, school me. I've never been fond of the word school. I didn't do all that well in school. I fought school. I fought everybody all the way because at a very young age, I could see the programming and what the teaching was, and I rebelled. I rebelled outrageously, and paid the price for it as well, as many of us have. It doesn't mean that the education system is wrong or incorrect. It's just that what we're being taught by the world was not, in essence, the real truth. And many of us saw that at an early age. And when we tried to speak up against it, we were caught in another great storm, one of which I will overpower you and make you feel small and insignificant, and I will destroy your life. Wow. This storm, this virus, bringing up the same issues that many of us went through without being ill or fear of death. But in many ways, we were diminished. We were diminished. Our power was diminished. Our sovereignty was diminished. Our ability to trust in our own hearts and thinking was diminished. So at early ages, we didn't know so much about divine guidance. Excuse me. But as we grew and we found different paths of spiritual paths, or embraced meditation or different teachings, we realized that we could pull out of this chaos and find a space where guidance seemed to flow of its own accord. So the card is really funny because it shows a couple of galaxies and a group of stars, like an arm reaching out to assist each other. Right now, this is what we need in this world, is this, each one of us being an individual galaxy and reaching out with our stars, our energy, to assist each other. We don't need to argue about who's right, who's wrong, when or if what's going to happen, but how can we not only embrace each other, but first, how do we embrace ourselves? How do we find a place of comfort and divine guidance within ourselves? So this vulnerability that we feel is really our challenge. We are vulnerable. And I know many of you agree with that. You feel that vulnerability. James Robertson saying external criticism is just the work of a bored ego. That's well said. I don't know what this Robert is talking about, but God bless you. I could not get by every day if not for my faith and the guidance received from angels. Whether it's angels or anywhere from yourself, it's important to find that guidance. So, wearing a peace shirt of peace. What is a shirt of peace? What is wearing anything but something external? The only peace that we need is inner peace. What we wear is meaningless. When we show up, we have to show up from our hearts. And that leads me into what I wanted to do this morning is a meditation. A meditation because there are no Band-Aids. There's nothing we can put. I have a Band-Aid on my finger. All it does is cover it up till it heals. It doesn't heal it. So no matter how we show up, what's important is what's within us, not outside of us. What we're practicing in our own daily walk, not what we're just giving energy and words to. And my path has been, for the past 20 years, to anchor peace, light, and love into the hearts and minds of everyone that I encounter. And I'm not perfect. I'm not the greatest wisdom keeper of the world. I'm just an average person who has seen something and understood something far greater than can be put into words, that in truth there are no words for. So today's journey is going to be a journey. And what I want you to do is just to take a couple of slow and even breaths deep into your lungs, and then just relax into an easy breathing pattern. So let's just take these breaths. Just relax now. No more deep breathing. Just allowing yourself to rest. And I want you to place your thumb on your wrist, just above your thumb on your opposite arm. And I want you to find your radial artery, which is right about here. It's a little indentation. And I want you to feel for your pulse. And it should be fairly easy to find your pulse there. It's a very powerful place. And just breathe into that pulsing. And know that this soft spot here, if you sever it, you can bleed right out. This is a very vulnerable spot in your body. And yet it's also a very powerful spot in your body where you can physically tap into the beating of your heart. And if you've heard drummers, many drummers will drum the heartbeat during meditations, because this is who we are in truth, is we are this heartbeat. It doesn't matter about this bodysuit that covers it. The bodysuit comes in different colors, different sizes, different shapes, but the heart is consistent. And the beating, unless it's disturbed by some rhythm within your body that's not in perfect alignment, it's always there to remind us that we're alive. We're in this physicality, that we exist. It's that existence that's important. So gently close your eyes and let's go on a little journey. A journey which reminds you that you are not only alive, you are very precious. That no matter what is happening around you or to you, you are still alive and very precious. The energy is flowing through our bodies, connecting the galaxies around us that we are within into us. That pulsing, that heartbeat is heard throughout the universe. It's part of a greater heartbeat, a collective heartbeat, a co-creative heartbeat, which doesn't end after this heartbeat stops. Because it's connected to rivers of precious starlight that connect everything to everything. Every day, every moment. This is where you truly dwell. This is who in this physical being, this body, makes you connected to every other energetic pulse in the universe. And so when we think of guidance, this is the connection to the guidance, is our heartbeat. And we receive information continually without our directing it, in spite of our fears, and connecting each one of us to each other. Not only are we connected to the stars, to the universe, to each other, we are connected to the heart of Mother Earth, which is pulsing as well. And even though we can be separated from each other physically and emotionally, even though we sense ourselves as separated from Mother Earth and from the universe, even though we feel that we have been placed in some form of isolation, her heart, as well as yours, can be felt as we let ourselves just focus on our own heartbeat. It is this divine inner connection to everything that cannot be broken by words or destroyed by actions or machines. It's the bond. It's the bond of the universe, both around us and within us. And through which guidance enters into our consciousness to be utilized by the mind for the good of all, not just a few. And so in this time right now where fear is rising, anger is rising, frustration is rising, suffering is rampant, I want you to know that as long as you can feel that heartbeat, you are safe. You are whole. You are here. And you are connected to creation. So slowly let go of your artery if you haven't already done so. And please come back into your 3D physicality as we sit here in front of this computer or phone or whatever you're connecting with. This greater physical presence. And know that the deep inner guidance we all seek is right there when we allow the brain to come to a place of peace. That it can be accessed anytime, not just during moments of confusion created by the great storyteller of our mind, our human mind. This is the storyteller. We're a race of storytellers. However, we've told so many stories that we are now utterly confused as to what truth is. We're unclear as to what wisdom is. We have generations of younger beings who are focused on something outside of themselves and have no understanding and are not being taught any understanding of their connectedness to all of life. We're being guided by a storyteller. And that storyteller can tell us any story it wants to and make it sound so real, make it sound so reliable. And yet, when it plays out, we find that we were misled or crossed dangerous waters or were hurt or damaged as a result of listening to it. Come back to your heartbeat. Your heartbeat doesn't lie. It doesn't tell you stories. Your heartbeat is connected to the truth of your beingness. It bypasses the interference, all of the interference, and offers us wisdom to rise, wisdom to be able to be seen, to be heard, to be felt. The truth is always held in your heart, not in your mind. The mind can be controlled, and then it seeks to control the heart. In that moment, that tiny little moment, we've been separated from our deep inner guidance. So when we look for divine guidance or guidance, we always seem to be looking outside for a savior or a guardian angel or whatever it is. And I'm not saying they're not there to assist you, but you're not going to reach them through here. Not in truth. Truth comes from the heart. Stories come from the mind. Let go of the stories. Watch them, read them. But don't take them to your heart. Stay in your heart and use your heart as the guide. Where you feel in your heart something is not right, more than likely, it's not. When something in your heart tells you This could be something wonderful. More than likely, it will be. This is the confuser. Doesn't mean we don't need it to operate, to live, to survive, to embrace each other, to do our jobs, to be good neighbors. But if it doesn't feel right in your heart, take a moment, put your hand on your wrist, and grab your pulse. The simple reminder, who am I? Am I this mind that rambles on and on and on? Or am I this heartbeat? And that was my guidance this morning, to bring that message to you who are listening, who are seeking. Because when we give it all to the mind to make our decisions, we're no longer the sovereign beings of creation, whose love and compassion is so desperately needed right now. So as I end, I want to just say, may each of you reconnect to your deep inner guidance and know how powerful you truly are. Last night on a call, I think the name of the talk show was Rumi Field. It was about the Rumi Field, and Rumi has written many poems about exactly what we're experiencing right now and how to deal with this. But there's a part of a poem, and I don't know what the name of this is, but I just want to read this one little paragraph. There is a field out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. There is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Find your pulse. Find your heart. Find that field. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. And I hope some of what I said resonates within your hearts and helps you to see something differently. For that's my only purpose in the world right now, is to assist others in seeing something deeper and beyond what our minds see. That's the only way I feel that we're going to move through this. Don't get stuck. Open yourself up and know that your deep inner guidance is there, waiting patiently for you to call upon it. Thank you all for showing up this morning, and bless you all. I hope your week this week lightens up a little bit, and hope that I've given you an opportunity to tap into the power that you truly are, to assist yourself, and then share that peace, that light, and that love that you will receive from that guidance with others. We can do this. I'll see you next Friday morning, and bless you all. May the light shine so brightly in your hearts that the darkness is rendered blind. Love you. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.